Hey, what's up guys? Clint here, back with another video. And in this React.js video, I'm going to be showing you how I built this front-end application. Basically, it's for a business that would offer some sort of race car track driving experience. Let me show you what we're going to be building. So right here, we have our nav bar at the top. Just spans the full width of the screen. It's transparent, sits on top of this awesome image I found, like Unsplash or Pexels. I'll find them all and throw them in the description below here. But it spans the full width, full length of the screen. Have our nice little hovered effect buttons here that we're going to style, some custom buttons we're going to style in CSS. So we're also using React Smooth Scroll dependency in our React.js application here. So notice we can just click on one of our links and we're getting a nice smooth scrolling down to the next component here. So let's have a look at our contact form. So we're using this like glass style theme here, so you can see through it, but it looks really, really nice. So let's scroll up through all of our components we're going to be building here from scratch, using all functional components here in React. So let's drop this down to mobile viewing sizes here. Boom, there we go. So this is really cool. So check it out. We're using the uState hook to toggle our mobile menu here. So as we can click that, we get a nice CSS animation. Our logo is just going to slide right on over. Nice hover effects on our links here, as you can see. Now, as we click a link, we're going to use the uState hook as well to close our menu, and also the smooth scrolling in React to just slide down to that component. So boom, there we go, there we go. There we go, looking nice, awesome. I had a lot of fun building this, you guys, and I'm pumped to be for you to follow along with me as I build this. So if you want to follow along, that's great. If you want to add in some more stuff of your own, that's cool too. I'd love to see what you guys build. When I'm finished with this, I'm going to throw it in my GitHub, and I'll put the link in the description below. So do the same if you do a spin-off. I want to see yours too. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, we are in VS Code here, ready to get started. I'm going to be pressing the Control backtick button to open up my terminal here. Now I'm already on my desktop, so let's create a React app. It's going to be npx create-react-app, and I'm going to call this driver app React. Go ahead and press enter. This will only take a moment. Man, this is going to be cool. I had a lot of fun building this, you guys. I like cars. I like cryptos. I like working out. I like coding. It's fun stuff. I like building projects from stuff that I'm actually interested in. So that makes coding. A lot of you guys are I'm getting a lot of people asking me, hey, what's the best way to learn coding? And you guys, you just got to do it. You just got to build projects. So for me, I've had a lot of fun building projects and things that I'm actually interested in. So that's a big, you can get so much further ahead in life if you're doing something that you actually enjoy. It just doesn't even seem like work. So here we are. I just pulled over the driver app React that we just created. Now, excuse me, kind of getting over a little cough here. So our public folder, don't worry about that. Basically, the only folder you need to worry about in this tutorial is the source folder here. We're not going to be working around into any other folder. We might check out the package.json just to look to see what dependencies we have installed. Excuse me. So now that we have this open, I just pulled over my folder that we just created. I'm going to delete a few things that we won't be needing for this application here. We can delete all these: the logo.sfg, port web vitals, setup test, the app test, and the app.css. We're going to be creating a component folder and individual style sheets for each component here. So boom, there we go. Now in index.js, we're gonna have to delete a few things. It's trying to import some things we just deleted. Now we'll give you some errors. We can just delete all this boiler code there. And you can actually just leave this as an empty fragment, and we'll just replace this with import React from React. There we go. All right, so many different ways to build applications in React, and many different like file structures. So the way we're going to do it today, in this source folder, I'm going to have a folder called components. And then in the components folder is where all of our individual components are going to live here. So we can close the index.js. So in here, let's create another folder. I'm going to call this Navbar. I'm just going to create a couple folders here. Then power, boom. Okay, so what I want to do first is just kind of get some styles over here from kind of like some global styles. I'm going to use the index.css. It's kind of like a global style sheet just to make it little bit easy to follow here. So what I'm going to put at the top, I did import a font from Google here. So if you're not familiar how to do that, just go to fonts.google.com and you can just import or link the font here. So I'm going to be using Roboto condensed, and we can just put it in here. You do need to put it in quotes. Roboto condensed. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and press the control backtick button here. I'm going to go ahead and just start our development server up. It should be blank. We're just going to type npm start. Should be blank here. Yes, we want to. I still have the original build running there. That's what it was asking me about just there. So taking a little few minutes here. There we go. Hey, there we go. It's working. Cool. So let's go ahead and leave this blank now and go back to our index.css. I am going to be using a primary color here. We're going to be using a CSS variable for this, just so I don't have to keep referring back to it or remember it. I do not have the best memory here. So in the way we do CSS variables, basically we put a colon, root, then inside our curly brackets, we can just name our variable. I'm going to name it primary color, like so. Then boom, this is our color here. Whoa. And the CC at the end of our color is just giving a little alpha effect. So be a nice little like overlay. So that way we can see through it just a little bit. We're gonna use that for our buttons. So, and then let's gonna apply these to all. We're gonna be using box sizing, border box, margin, set that to 0. Padding, set padding to 0. There we go. And we got our font fixed there. Now let's do a UL. We're going to set the list style type to none. And for our anchor tags, we'll text decoration none. There we go. And I'm also going to set some font sizing for our H1. Let's do 3.5 rem. Whoops. Font size 3.5 rem. And I'm just going to, yes. For H2, let's do font size 3 rem. Then H3. Font size, 2 rem. There we go, there we go. Now, I do want to do our buttons real quick as well. I'm going to keep our button basically in our index, in our global style sheet here. I'm referring to the index.css as a global style sheet. So I'm going to keep that in there. And if we need to give it any extra positioning or margins, we can do that on the individual style sheet in our components folder here. So I'm going to give it a margin, 0.5 rem. Padding 0.7 rem and 1.5 rem. There we go. And our font size, I use 0.8 rem. Font weight 600. Get kind of like a bold there. Text transformation. Let's go uppercase. Now we want to do border radius 25 pixels. Give it a rounded here. Don't want any border on there. Now for our background color. Are we using? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was looking at, we're gonna use a black with an overlay here, so whoops, down, and let's do RGBA. There we go. 0. Actually, let's do it white. We'll have a button and also a button dark. So this is, whoops, this is gonna be the light version here, and we'll do 1.1. There we go. And let's do width 90%. I'm not using all variables for my colors as well, just the ones that are hard to remember. Cursor pointer, cool. Now let's do our dark button here. And this will just be background RGBA 0, 0, 0, and let's do 0.4, 0.5. Now BTN, get our hover effects in here. Background. I'm just going to copy this down actually. There we go. And instead of 0.1, change it to 0.8. Now let's do the same here. And for our hover effect, let's do 0.8. Okay, I think that is all. Sorry. How do I close this freaking thing? All right, what? Jesus. Sorry about that, you guys. Where did I jack this thing up? All right, there we go. We don't need any errors this early in the video. All right, cool. So that's it for our index.css. Now, we can go ahead and close this. All our global styling is done. Now, in our navbar, we're going to start from the top down. In our navbar folder here, let's create a couple files. Navbar.jsx. You can call it JS or JSX. I'm just doing this. Either one's fine. I'm doing that so it recognizes my image extension so I can type a little bit quicker here. So I'm going to use RAFCE, and that's going to generate a functional component. Very, very great tool to have here in my extensions here. Go down to installed only. Where's that? It's ES7 React Redux snippets. There it is, right? That's the one I'm using right there. So it allows you to generate functional components, class-based components. You can export at the top, at the bottom. There's all quick links for that as well. So it just really speeds up the time when you're coding. So here in our navbar component, I'm going to import our style sheet. Navbar Styles. Navbar Styles.css is what we called it. Now let's go ahead and start coding this thing in our JSX here down at the bottom. And this is all JSX, you guys. This is all JavaScript. It looks like HTML, but it's actually JSX. That's one of the cool things about React. It lets us write some code here that's very, very similar to HTML. But instead of like class, you have to say class name. And you have to use camel case here in the JSX, so in React. So let's give this a background or a navbar class name here. And next here, we're going to have, I can't remember if we're doing a container or not. Yeah, let's do a container. Boom, container. And then here, we're going to have our logo. So I'm going to make a div with a logo. And then here, I'm just going to say race. Boom, there we go. Now we need to import this. Navbar. Boom. And if you press enter, it should auto import. If not, you can always go back here and just click. If you're right here, the beginning, if you press control space, it'll ask if you want to import it, auto import at the top there. Boom. All right. So we have a race there. And underneath that div, let's do a UL, the class name of Nav Menu. Boom, there we go. And we'll have some list items with, list items with some A tags. And put a little / there. Otherwise, we'll React will throw a few little errors. Now we'll just have, let's see, we'll have power. I'm going to copy this down. And what do we have here? Speed. Then we had handling. Then where we have options. Then we had a little contact here at the bottom. So these are our components we're going to be creating here. And then we have something over here. Oh, so text is white over there. It's already white, so that's why we can't see it. I know you can start to see a little bit over there. So underneath here, we also have another UL with the class name of Nav Menu, because we want the same effects to apply to this one as well. And what are we gonna have? We're gonna have an li with an a tag. And I think this one said shop. Copy that down. And shop and account. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm going to make another menu, and it's going to live within this nav menu here. Basically, it's going to be a modified, basically a modified part of this menu right here, but it's only going to be displayed in our mobile menu. So the way we're going to do that, is I'm just going to throw this inside of this UL here. Put this down here. So just in here, it's not li. I'm going to put a div with a class name of mobile menu. Mobile menu. Then inside this menu, we want to have a couple things, a couple buttons. It's going to say shop down. This one's going to be account. Now we're also about to install a dependency. Our React icons is our other dependency we're going to be using here. The React icons and also the React smooth scroll. So let's go ahead and do that now. Social icons. This will be one more div, and this is where our icons are going to live. So you can either close your server, or you can just hit this plus sign, and it'll open up a new terminal here, so you can install dependencies without closing your stopping your development server. So we can type npm I react-icons. There we go. And I'll go ahead and open it up over here. React. Oh, that was it right there. Okay. React icons. This is it right here. So that's how we install it right there. And this is how you import them at the top. So I already know what I'm going to be grabbing here. So you can search all kind of icons there. So have fun looking through all those. Has a lot of really cool icons you can use. So the ones I'm going to be using here, I'm going to import them at the top. So let's import, we're going to be using FA bars and FA times. Then we're going to say from React-icons. Now that's not all, you can't leave it like that. You have to add on the little pretext here. Otherwise you will get an error. So this one is FA. Now a lot of the icons, it might be TI, SI, FA. So make sure you add the correct pretext there. And if you import different icons with different, multiple icons with different pretext, it has to be on a separate line here. So import, at least to my knowledge, GI, car wheel. If I'm wrong, then please correct me and show me how to do it differently. So React icons dash GI for that one. And we can go ahead and copy that down. And we're going to be using, these are our social icons here. So these are for the FA bars, for our hamburger menu here. The FA times is just an X, so we can close it. This is one of our icons we're going to be using in our mobile menu. And then here we can do FI Instagram and FI Facebook. Okay, now down here, this is in our mobile menu. We're going to be using FA Facebook. This is how we enter them into our JSX. Just like that. Boom. Now this one's going to be FA Instagram. Now this car wheel I'm using here at the top. Car wheel. I don't know what it is. I know it's not Facebook or Instagram. Instagram is not defined. Here. Did I spell it wrong? Yep. FI instead of FA. What did I do? Wait. Okay, sorry. It automatically imported them up there. So sorry for that there. So you can, those are multiple, have the FA pretext. So you can throw all those in on the top line there. FA Instagram. All right, there we go. So you can see that little wheel there. I'm just using that as like some sort of social site there. And copy there. Boom. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it, you guys, for our navbar. We'll come back and add some state here in a minute. Actually, we forgot we need to add our hamburger menu here. So just down here, this is within our container div here, just below our last unordered list. So let's create a div with a class name of hamburger. Then in there, we can have our FA bars. Boom, there we go. So let's get over into our styling. We already imported our style sheet here at the top. And let's rock out some styles here. Okay, and for our styling, I don't know why, let's look at our H3s. All right, what? All right, sorry, what happened here? Sorry, I don't know what happened here. I guess this is when it messed up earlier. That needs to be BTN. Our font size is 0.8. Okay. And this should be font size 2M. All right. Okay. That's looking how it should there. So, okay, back in our Navbar styles here. So what we want to do, and I already have them pre-written, but I just want to kind of help you understand what we're doing here. So we're going to have our nav bars and display the full width of the screen with a height of 100 pixels there. And we want the position to be fixed because we do not want this to move as we scroll over our separate sections or components. And let's give it a Z index of 5 so it's always sitting right there on top. Now we do have a navbar container here. And for our container, we want this to display, not inline, flex with a flex direction. Column, what do we call them? No, we don't. We want to justify content to the center and align items to the center. There we go. Boom, there we go. Oh, well, center. Space between All right, that's what we want right there. That's what we want. Good, looking good. So for our, let's do our logo here on the side. So we did put it in a div with a class name of logo. We'll display this as flex. Sometimes I do this. Whenever I design these projects, I usually just put like H3 in there as the logo with some text. If I do go back, I'll add like an icon or actually design like a little logo here for it. So let's do line items to the center so it displays evenly here. Margin, one rem. There we go. Let's do a Z index of 5 for when it slides on over, and we'll do the transition, the CSS animation here in just a moment. So we want our hamburger menu to display none. Okay, we'll go back with our immediate queries as well. And for our mobile menu, we want to do display as none as well. Let's give this padding 1 rem. What the? 1 rem. There we go. There we go. Now we also want to do, let's do the okay. These errors here. Okay, looking good. That's what we want. Let's transform these nav menus here next. So let's do Nav Menu, and we want to display as flex. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Now let's do the Nav Menu li. Give it some padding of 1 rem. That's looking good there. And we'll do our Nav Menu li a, and let's do color. All right, I'm going to change this color as well here. Put this right here. All right. There, I know you can see it. We'll highlight it up here. Boom, there we go. Looking good, looking good. That's exactly what we want it to look like. Awesome, you guys. Follow along. Hope you're following along great so far. So next, let's go ahead and do some media queries here. And you guys, we are going to leave this as white because we're going to have our background image underneath it. It's going to sit on top, so we'll be able to read it just fine. So let's go ahead and do our media queries. So we're going to say at media screen, and we'll say max width of 940 pixels. So basically this is saying if the screen falls below 940 pixels, we're going to execute this code right here. And we now want our hamburger to display as block. There we go. And we're going to want our mobile menu to now display as flex. We're going to flex direction as column. And we're going to want to add width 100%. There we go. Now, let's go ahead. What we're going to style right now, what we're styling right now is going to be our side drawer menu. So for that, position, absolute. And I'm going to zoom in on the screen a little bit here, you guys, so it's easier for you guys to see. If you guys don't like it, where we're looking, appearance. If you guys don't like it, let me know. I won't do it again. So I think it's easier for you to kind of read what we're doing here. So for position absolute, now we also want to do width, we'll say 60%, a height, 100 viewport heights, and we'll do a background. Let's use our CSS variable. We'll use var primary color. There we go. There we go. Looks good. Let's get top 0, and we're in it from the right. Cool, cool, cool. Now we also want this flex direction. It already has a flex properties. We now want to display it as a column, and we'll say justify content to the center. Boom, looking good. But we don't need this shop and account anymore. So let's go right here. Yeah. And we'll just say hide. And we want this to hide on our media queries only. So we'll say hide, display. There we go. Perfect, perfect. All right, looking good here. So for our buttons, let's style a few more things here. And we want our div we can display, where's our mobile menu? Come back. Let's put this flex direction column width 100%. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do, after our nav menu, I think we got our background. Let's do our transition. 0.9s. No, cool. So that's looking good. Let's style this a little bit further. We want to do the nav menu. I get some padding. I would say margin. There we go. And let's make the text a little bit bigger. Now let's give it our little hover slide here, and we're going to target the list item for that and not the A tag, so we can get a little bit bigger of a line there, of a border. Menu, we'll say li, and we want to hover. Border 1 pixel, solid. What do we do? Hey, there we go. Let's give it a width 175 pixels. What? There we go. Boom, there we go. Looking good, looking good. All right, nice, nice. So we probably need to do these buttons here as well. So let's go ahead and rock out these buttons. We'll say nav. We did not give these a class menu. We did not give these a class name of button. So we're just going to access the button because we're going to use our styling for the other button. The styling that we already did in our index.css and our global styles, that was for the buttons we're going to be using on our components. And these we're going to style separately. So, and here, let's give it a margin. These are going to be just a little bit different. 1 rem, top and bottom, then auto on the sides. Padding, we're going to do 0.7 rem, top and bottom, 1.5 rem on the sides. And let's do font size of 1.2 rem. There we go. Border radius is going to be, is still going to be 25 pixels. Border none. There we go. Background, let's do RGBA 55. 0.3. There we go. All right, let's see how this looks. Boom, there we go. Looking nice, looking nice. Margin. All right. We need to give this like a little, we'll come back and style that, give it a little more margin here for our buttons. How's that look? We'll leave it at auto. Now, for a hover effect here, let's go Nav Menu, button, hover, and we're just going to change this to, copy that down, make that easy here. Let's change that to 0.1. Now for our social icons here, let's get the Nav Menu. Let's display these as flex, space, evenly. Let's do space evenly. There we go. Looking good, looking good. And let's give it some margin. Perfect, perfect. Now we want to do, let's add like icon. I'm going to go back in here into our navbar, and these icons, I'm going to give it a class name. Icon, there we go. I'm just going to copy that right there. Boom. There we go. Now we can go ahead and target our nav menu icons, and we'll say color LCC, so we can get a little alpha going on there so we can see through it. And font size 1.4 rem. Let's do, probably call it icon. There we go. Looking good, looking good. All right. That's nice right there. Now, of course, it doesn't work yet. We haven't added the useState hook to toggle. That's how we're going to toggle our menu. And so what I actually need to do is what we need to do here. What we want to do is add an active class here. And I'm going to put it right here. It doesn't matter where you put it. I'm trying to keep it a little legible. So active. So this is how we want it to look whenever our nav bar is toggled. So active, this is what we want. We'll say right 0. However, when it's not active, we want it to not to be displayed. You just want to see the bars, right? So for our right here, we're going to change this to negative 100%, and that is going to leave it all the way off the screen. Now, whenever we toggle this right class, it's going to slide out in from the right. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and add one more media query down here for the small devices, just so we can get that out the way and we don't have to come back. So the first one was for 940 pixels. For this one, what we're going to say is we'll say 495 pixels. So basically, this is going to be a phone devices here. We want our nav menu to take up a little bit more of the screen. We'll say width. Instead of 60%, we want our drawer to take up 75%. And then for our slide right, we'll change that in a moment. So let's go back into our navbar.jsx here. Let's import our useState hook. What we're going to do now is toggle our navbar here. So useState is imported. And we're going to put our state right here in the navbar, just underneath our component here at the top. So the way useState works, it's going to say const brackets, going to take in two values. I'm going to say nav, and we can say set nav. It's kind of typical naming convention here. Equal to useState, and the useState takes in a Boolean value, or in our case, right now it's going to take in a Boolean value. It doesn't have to, but for our case right now, I'm going to say false. And then we also want to have a handle nav function here. It's going to be arrow function. So const, we'll say handle nav. And in here, we want to set nav the opposite to its opposite right there. So if it's false, it's going to set it to true, and if it's false, it'll set it to if it's true, it'll set it to false. If it's false, it'll set it to true. So that's what we're doing here with the exclamation point. Now let's go down to our Hamburger menu, and for our class here, I'm just going to put this on the class so it's a little bit easier to hit for the user. So we'll just say on click, we want to run our handle nav function, and handle nav, spelled that wrong, DLE, there we go. And we now want to toggle our classes here. So, because right now, nothing's changing. So right now, let's close this down right here. We actually delete that and enter in, set up some curly brackets. And inside our curly brackets, it's just going to take JavaScript. So what we're going to say here is going to say, we're going to use a ternary operator. And the way ternary operators work, they take in 3 inputs. So the first input is going to be nav here. And what it's the way a ternary input works is this would be an input here, an input right here, and then the last input. So what we're saying here, the ternary operator is saying, if this is true, execute this, else execute this over here. So if nav is true, which right now it's set to false, but if nav is true, what we want to say is we want to have our nav menu class and also our active class. If it's not true, else, we just want to display nav menu. There we go. So we should be able to click that. Oh, not yet. So if that's looking correct. Now we also want to add this same line of code. I'm just going to copy that down, and I'm going to add it down right here. There we go. And, whoop. Sorry. We want to add that, I believe, on this next one here. Let's see here. Okay, that's correct. So next, what we want to do is so we have our nav menu here. We want to change these bars as well. And then we can do the same for that as well. So let's open up some curly brackets and we want to say, if nav is true, we want to show the FA times here. So we're going to put this in parentheses here. If nav is true, we want to show FA times. Else, put it back in our parentheses here. We want to show FA bars. There we go. And I'm going to put, there we go. Go back and fix that in a moment. I'm going to make, I'm going to increase that size just a little bit. So we're going to give this a class name. What we're going to do is just use some styling in here. So we can just say style, 2 curly brackets, and we'll say, actually, we can just do, we don't need to add styling. This is just a React icon component here. So we can just say size 20. That's for our times. And let's do this for bars. Okay, perfect, perfect. So what we want to do next, let's see what's going on here. Set nav, set nav, we state false. Const handle nav, there we go. So, and then on click, something's not going on here. Okay, so this is, it works properly, but I can't click this this icon because it's actually behind, I think at least it's behind our mobile menu here. So let's go into our menu here. Let's see. Because it works. Let's see. Let's try hamburger. Where's our hamburger? Z. Let's try that. There we go. All right, perfect. So that solved that problem there. I do want this color to be white though. So you know what? We can add some inline styling here. So what we're going to say is style. We have 2 curly brackets here, and we'll say color. And this has to live in quotes here. We'll say color white. There we go. And let's just copy this completely. And we'll throw it on our next icon here. There we go. Perfect, perfect. That's what we want. Can't see it, but that's okay. Let's add in, that's what we want. Okay, great. So that's our navbar. It looks kind of funny now because we don't have our next component. So let's add in this next component, this power component. And what that is going to be, this background right here. We'll add in some of our buttons as well. And that way we can see everything and everything actually looks like it should. So let's do that next. So for our power component here, I'm going to just close a couple of these, close this folder here. So in our power component or folder, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it power.jsx or JS, either one's fine. Power styles.css. All right. And I'm going to use the RAFCE to generate our functional component here. And in here, I'm going to give this a class name of power. And let's go over here. We are going to use a container in here. So I'm going to give it a container. And we're going to have a top part here. And it's going to have an H1. And let's give it a class name. Do we need a class? Listen, we're going to leave the class name out for now. And this one's going to be power. Boom, there we go. And then let's do another div. The bottom. And in here, we're going to have a button.btn. We'll say drive. Copy that down. This one is just going to say ride. There we go. This first one, want to be dark. Sorry, btn dark. There we go. All right, let's close that. Now, let's go into our, let's attach our style sheet. There we go. And we can go ahead and import this as well. Just below our navbar power, go ahead and hit enter for the auto import. If you didn't auto import, make sure you import it at the top. There we go. Boom, there's our button. Already has our nice little hover effects, what we did in our index.css, our global styles. So let's go ahead and go into our power.styles here. And what we want to do, the power, we want to just give it a width of 100%, a height of 100 viewport heights. And let's do our background here. So for our background, we, okay, so close that for a minute. So I already have my images pulled down from Unsplash or Pexels. You can download directly from their website, or if you want to, you can just look down in the description below. I'm going to have my Githup repo in there, so you can just grab the exact images that I'm using in this project if you'd like. So what we're going to do is create a folder in our source folder here. I'm going to call it assets. And inside assets is where all of our images are going to live. So I'm just going to slide these on over here. And as you can see, we have a contact-bg, handling-bg, options, power. There you go. So feel free to use your own. If you want to use mine, that's cool too. You can just grab them from me in the description below. So for our background, boom, we're going to have a URL. Then your URL, we're going to need some quotes. Let's go find our image. It is going to be need to go outside that directory as well. Our assets, and let's use power. Boom, there we go. Now, not displaying properly. Let's give it a, we don't want it to repeat. And this is just a shortcut. We could say background repeat, no repeat, background size or position. But I'm going to add it all in line here. Center, and then we want center cover. There we go. Let's see how it looks. So now, no matter how we manipulate our browser, it's still going to be optimized there. So that's what we want right there. Looking nice, looking nice. Let's go in and do our container next here. So power container, and we're going to give it a width of 100%, height of 100 viewport heights, display flex, and flex direction as a column, and then justify content space between. So this is going to take all of our contents in there, push them where they need to go. Now for our power top, let's do margin top. Let me give it a, push it down a little bit. Change that, and let's copy this down, and we'll just change this to bottom. And then we want the margin bottom. And let's change this to, does that look okay? 4rem? 4rem look okay? Yeah. Now let's also give it a, sorry, we don't need a color on that either. Just delete that there. Cool. So we also want to do display flex and justify content to the center with a width of 100%, max width 600 pixels. We don't want it too big, so let's open this thing up here. Boom. So when we're at full screen, that is exactly what we want. Wow, that looks really, really nice. All right, so let's check and make sure. I know it's kind of hard to see on the screen there. I have nice hover effect on these buttons. Everything is looking nice. There we go. Full width of the screen, full height. Image positioning is optimized. There we go. And as we scroll down, we want these buttons to stack, especially if we get on like a mobile device. So let's stack those buttons. We'll do a media query here at the bottom. So we'll say media screen, and let's do a max width of, I'm gonna do a max width of 540 pixels. So quite a bit lower, but quite a bit smaller here. But, oops, sorry, can't put that in there. What we want to say is power container bottom flex direction column line items. Come on. So let's see how that looks as we're stacked. Boom, that is perfect. That is what we want right there. I feel like that's kind of, I'm gonna go back into our index.css. I feel like that button there Let's go to like 4. All right, that looks better to me at least. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That looks better. Boom, and let's have a look. We didn't do our animation. Let's do our animation real quick as well. So as we click on our mobile menu, we want our logo here to slide on over there. So let's work on that in our Navbar style. Sorry, I skipped over that completely. So let's go back into our Navbar styles. And what we want to say is, okay, so open up the Navbar and let's give it a class name of our logo here. And we want to grab the whole logo, not just the H3, but we want to say slide right. But we only want it to slide right if we're on if our menu is toggled. So how do we do that? Let's use the use state here, and we're going to add a new piece of state, and I'm just going to call it slide and set slide. There we go. And we're going to use state. We're going to set this to false as well, just like the above value here. False. Come on. Oh my gosh. All right, so we only want it to slide when this button is clicked. That's what we're going to do. When this button is clicked, we want our div to slide over. So what we're going to do is create another handle here. So const, and I'm going to say handle slide. And what in here we'll set, there we go, set slide. And we can just say the opposite of what it currently is. So put that exclamation point, put slide, and it automatically goes to the opposite there. So let's add that down here for our logo here. So instead of this class name, we're going to add another class name called slide right. But we want to toggle this here. So let's open up our curly brackets, just like we did here, very similar. We're going to say, if slide is true, we want to show, let's see, logo and slide right that we haven't created in our file yet, but we're about to. Else, just show logo. There we go. Now let's go into, we don't need the index. Let's go into our Navbar Styles here. And we can put this down here at the bottom here. We want to say slide right. And then for our code there, for our slide right, what we're going to be saying, look it up here, we're going to be margin left 45%. See how that lines up, and give it a transition 0.sec. Out. Okay. See if that works. And no slide. What's going on? So, that's what. We forgot to add this to our click event here. So let's go down to our nav bar. So we already have the onClick handle nav. And we also want to say onClick handle slide. Let's have a look. What? Can we not have both two in there? Nav. Oh no. Oh, you know what? Delete that. So like brain fart here. So go up to the top here. We actually don't even need this. And since we're going to be outputting more than one thing, let's just put in some curly brackets. We can cut that and we're going to paste it in here. Boom. And then also we'll set the slide. There we go. Let's have a look. All right, that's what we wanted there, I think there. So set slide, that's perfect. That's what we want right there. Now it's not sliding over. What's the deal? What's the deal with that? refresh this. Still not sliding. What's up with that? Let's go into our styles here. We have this slide right navbar. But look at that. Let's see here. Maybe so. Aha, there we go. Nice. That's what we want right there. Let's have a look on like actual mobile device. Go inspect to our Chrome tools. It looks over a little bit too much. I don't want it to slide that far over, so under here, let's just copy that. And we'll say, let's change that to 30% on our margin left. Hey, there we go. All right, so that's looking good. That's what we wanted there. I'm gonna close that back out. Perfect, perfect. All right, all right. Can we give this transition? All right. All right, so done with the Navbar styles, with the Navbar and index. So let's go back into our component. And really, we're done with this component as well. So the rest of the project is going to be super simple and it's going to be very quick because basically all these are the same until we get to our form. So inside our components folder, next one we had was speed. So let's go speed, and we'll just create a speed.jsx and a speed styles.css. And since they're the same, technically, you know, in React, you have reusable components. So we could have just reused these and passed in a background image on each one. That is a acceptable practice, but I just decided to do it this way. We could have used props, just pack that. This was talking about for our background, pass in the background image with props, but that's okay. So I'm gonna just copy all this over here. Boom. Whoops, what happened? Thought I copied it. There we go. So this is our speed. Now we just have to change a few things. This is speed styles. And we have to change this to speed. We're going to change our class name to speed. And then when we export it at the bottom, it has to be speed as well. So, and we can actually just take our styles here. I'm going to copy this and paste this in our speed styles. Now for all these power here, I'm just going to search here. Excuse me, wherever it says power, we're going to replace that with speed. Replace all of them. Boom, there we go. And I actually changed our image as well. Perfect. So let's import this into our app and see how it looks. And basically that just created another component right there. Close that down. Oh, it didn't import it. We can click there, control, space, import. There it is. Boom. Now let's scroll down, you guys. Oh yeah, looking good. Man, that is clean right there. See how easy it was to create a new component? We just copied everything, changed the names. Now, like I said, we could use have reusable components here, and we could just pass in props to the background image and the heading or something like that. Maybe I'll do that on another video. This is just how I want to stick to how I designed it here for now. So the next one, let's do it again, was when we do handling. And so let's do the same thing with a handling.jsx, and then also handling styles.css. And we can go in here. We'll just copy all this again from our power. Boom. And then let's type in handling styles. This is handling. This here is going to be handling. Then export as handling as well. And then we can close the speed. Where's our styles here? Boom, there we go. Let's select all these. And in our handling styles, we can paste that. Then again, wherever it says speed, we want to change this with handling. Change all of them. Boom, changed our image as well. Let's import it and have a look. All right, oh, make sure it imported that. Control spacebar, there we go. There we go. Oh, so we forgot to go in there. So handling, we can change this. There we go. And then power, let's close that, close that. Let's open up our speed. I don't think we changed that one. Power, let's see. speed. Boom. There we go. All right. So looking good, you guys. See how easy this is. It's awesome. Wow. All right. So next one, what we do, options. So let's do the options here. And in here, we're going to have options.jsx. Then also options styles.css. And in here, that's right, we're just going to copy it over. Boom, copy options. Let's change this to options styles.css. Oh, already got that in there. Boom, options. Change this to options. And this as well. Don't forget that this time. Boom, and then export it. Options. And for our styling, boom, copy, paste that in there, and we're going to search for anywhere it says handling, is this one, and we're going to change that with options. Do it to all of them. Let's import this thing. There we go. Boom. Well, what? Import that dude. Oh, of course, didn't. What's going on? Import that dude. There we go. Let's go. Look. Handling options. Boom. There it is. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, that's what we want right there. Oh, I want this to be a little bit. I'm gonna change our nav bar here. Sorry, I want this. I want that text to be a little bit bigger on our nav bar. Just looks kind of small to me. So let's have a look. Let's go to nav bar, styles, and font size. Let's maybe do font weight. How's that look? There we go. That's better. That's better. Make sure we didn't jack anything up. All right, perfect. That's what we want. All right. So handling. Okay, last one left. Let's do our form here, our contact. So our contact, let's see. Boom. All right. So for contact, let's do that one. And in here, we can go ahead and close that. Boom. We'll leave open our options. So in our components, contact. This is our last component here. We're going to have contact.jsx. And whoops, this needs to go inside there. There it goes. Get in there. There we go. God dang. All right. Contact styles CSS. There we go. There we go. There we go. So for our contact, we want it to be a little bit different. RAFCE. Whoop. RAFCE. What's going on? I don't know what's doing that. So let's type it out. Import React from React. Oh, that's because I'm in. Duh. I was fine. No worries. Sorry, you guys. There we go. There we go. Gotta default it. Export default contact. Export default. There we go. Boom. There we go. All right. So in here, what we want to say is going to be our class name of contact. We'll have our container in here. Boom. So in our container, we're going to have a top and a bottom here. So in our top, contact, boom, there we go. Then down here, our form. So let's do a form. We don't need an action. There we go. Now, excuse me. Okay, for our div, we're going to wrap everything in a div. Doesn't need a class name. We're not going to give it a class name. Each div is going to be a label, and we actually don't need any of that either. And we just want the name, and then also an input, and the type actually is going to be text. That's fine. We'll give it a placeholder. Placeholder. Enter your name. Now let's copy this down a couple times. Boom, boom. This one's going to be email. Type email. Enter your email. And the last one's going to be message. And that actually is not going to be an input. So we can actually delete that. It's going to be text area. Doesn't need a name. Doesn't need an ID. That's fine. That's fine. make it a little bit bigger there. Placeholder. Enter your message. Let's import this, kind of see what we're working with. And contact. There we go. Auto import. There we go. All right, cool. So, and then we just want to do our div here at the bottom. And we'll just say our button btn to btn. Hold up. There we go. Button.btn. But we're also going to add the btn dark. And this one's just going to say submit. So you can see that there. Basically, I'll break this down so you can see it. We have our div, and inside the div, we just have this button with the class name btn dark. There it is. Boom, submit. All right. So what we want to do next is style our form. Let's go back and do some styling on this thing. So for our styling, for our contact, we can close that down. Actually, we're going to use all that's the same. I'm going to copy all this, put that in there, and this is going to be contact. Basically, we do the same thing here. Anywhere it says options, let's just change that with contact. There we go. Looks good, looks good. There we go. And contact BG. Is that working? Oop, gotta import it. Yep. All right. Boom, there we go. Looking good, looking good. Now let's take care of our form here. So for our form, boom, done with that. For our form, let's look at right here, and we'll say contact form. We didn't get a class name. We're starting a div, and let's do a max width of 600 pixels with 100% there. There we go. Looking nice, looking nice. Now we can do contact form and grabbing our div here. We want to display that as flex with flex direction column. Let's give it a margin of 0.5 rem. There we go. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Contact form. We'll do the label. Let's do margin. Whoa. We're going to apply margin to all the sides here. So there we go. Margin, we'll do 1 rem, 0.2 rem on the bottom, and then 0.7 rem on the left. Styling these here. Boom, there we go, there we go. Now we got our label. Let's do some form inputs. So contact, form, input, and let's also do text area. Lump that in here. 0.5 rem. 0.7 rem, 1.5 rem. There we go, there we go. Background, let's do, not blend mode. All right, sorry. Excuse me. RGBA. We're going to do 255. 255. Come on. And we'll do 0.3. That's looking good there. Yeah, there we go. Border, none, and then we get a border radius. We want the same, 25 pixels. Basically, very, very similar to our buttons here. Color. There we go. Let's do a font size of 1 rem. 1 rem. And then outline. So if you look at this, if you're in Chrome, it gives you this nice little blue outline. There we go. Ooh, ugly right there. So what we can do to get rid of all this ugly little blue-white outline, take it away. Boom. So much cleaner. So much cleaner. All right. And let's give the font family as well. So what? Just to make it look a little nice, we are using the Roboto condensed. And always make sure you add another font just in case the browser is not using that there. Perfect. Oh man, that's money. Let's do our focus as well here. So boom. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. Everything is working. Everything's lined up perfectly. Nice little menu comes over. Ah, perfect, perfect. And let's see here. We want our focus and hover here. So that's not, let's target that next. So let's do our hover. So let's do contact, form, input. We want the hover, and also text area, hover. And for that, we'll do box shadow. Zero, 0, 4 pixels. Hey, there you go. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but if you look in your own application, it's looking pretty nice. Looking pretty nice. Oh, what's up? Now, let's change a placeholder. Let's see here. Contact, form, input, color. I'm going to change the placeholder. What the heck? Sorry. All right. Is that working? Let me see if this is working. What's going on? Input, placeholder. All right. And what we're using? 3. All right, there we go. There we go. And let's see if we can add in text area. Yet. Text area. Placeholder as well. Here we go. Looking nice. What's up? Looking nice. Let's have a look on full screen. So the form is displaying at 100% of the screen with a max width of 600 pixels. There we go. Guys, I'm sorry for this pop-up there. Sorry, I guess I need to update that thing. Actually, it wants me to upgrade. I won't spend money. There you go. It's looking nice, guys. What's up? That looks really, really clean. Really, really clean. Let's have a look on a mobile device, like an iPhone. Looking clean. All right. So, man, what we want to do next, guys, let's do, basically that's it right there. But what we want to do is add in the React Smooth Scroll dependency. So let's do that next. I'm going to close that there. And let's see, I still have open my second terminal here. So npm I React, what is it called? Let's go have a look here what it's called. React Smooth Scroll. This is it right here. It's called React Scroll, I believe. Boom. So that's how we're going to install it. npm I React Scroll. There we go. Feel free to read through all this documentation there. Lots of great stuff. Lots of really cool things you can do. But what I'm going to do in this video is just a simple scroll down to the designated section there. Now that it's installed, I can close that terminal down. And what we're going to do, I'm going to grab this here and I'm going to put this in. Now we're going to be working in our Navbar. There we go. And we can just import it at the top. Now, actually, I'm not going to be using any of these except for the link. So that's all we need there. And scroll down here. There she is right there. So we're going to grab this whole thing. Now in here, what I'm going to do, back here. So this is what, I'm just going to paste it right here so we can see. We're not going to need any, stop popping up. We're not going to need any offset. We're not going to need, scroll over so you can see. We're not going to need this onset active. So we can delete that as well. And this test, there we go. Perfect. So that's what we want right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this down. Boom, there we go. So in here, this is going to be power. And this one's going to be speed. Next one's going to be handling. And the next one is going to be options. And then contact. And made one too many. Delete that there. Now, perfect. So, and this one here, we're going to name this instead of the 2, or instead of the test 1, we're going to say to power. But I'm going to leave this lowercase. Leave power. And this one here to speed. This one here is going to go to options. Oops, sorry, handling. Handling. And this one's going to be options. And the last one is going to be contact. There we go. Perfect. So what we can do actually is just grab each one of these. I'm going to cut that one out. And instead of this power right here, I'm just going to paste it right in there. Same thing with this speed here. I'm going to cut that out. Just replace that one. And I know it's getting kind of messy and hard to read. Don't worry, I'm going to come back and fix that. Grab this whole options in there. And then finally, the contact here. We go ahead and save that. So all we did, you guys, I know it kind of looks, we'll clean this up to make it look a little better. I know, sorry, I want to be off the screen. There we go. And you guys, you don't have to clean it up. I'm just doing it so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. I don't want to make any messes here. Whoop, there we go. Boom, there we go. Make sure you like the video, you guys. I'm trying to grow this stuff up here. Can't do it without the likes, yo. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm getting a lot of messages down of people running into little bugs, little stuff like that. Shoot me a message or leave a comment, and I'll try my best to fix it. If you want me to have a look at your code, put it on your GitHub, and I'll review it for you if you need me to have a look at it. No problem at all. All right, so there we go. Now, this 2 here is going to go to a name that we have to set up. So now all this is configured correctly. I'm going to drop this back down just a little bit. Boom, there we go. Close that. So now that it is configured correctly, what we need to do is go in to each section here. So we'll start off, I'm going to start from top to bottom. So this contact here, what we need to do is go in here and just on this outer div here, right next to class name, we're just going to say name. And this is contact. Boom, there we go. Close that one out. Let's go to handling. And right here, we're going to say name. Handling. There we go. I'm just going to copy that. Boom, there we go. Now next one, not handling, go to options. And boom, I'm going to paste that in right there. Change that to options. And in the power, boom. Right there, I'm going to change this to power. And finally, the speed. Change that to speed. There we go. Close all these other tabs. There we go. Perfect, perfect. So let's have a look now. Should be working, you guys. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So I'm going to pull this open. Open up. All right, I'm going to pull this open, you guys. Let's see. We're already on power here. Let's click on speed. And it is a nice smooth scroll down. That's what's up. All right, let's try handling. Boom, there it goes. Options. Contact. There it goes. Looking nice, you guys. Looking nice. Let's have a look. Power. Boom. Okay. So and we're not going to mess with these icons or these texts here on the right. Don't worry about those. Just for decoration. Now let's close this out and let's have a look on our mobile menu here. All right, there we go. Does it work? Boom, there it goes. But there's an issue. Our navbar is not closing. Very easy fix. What we need to do is go in here and what we want to say, create a new handle here. And the const, let's see, let's call it handle close. Whoop, not taking in anything. Handle close. And on this, we want to set nav to its opposite. There we go. That's all we need to do. But we want to put this handle close on this link. So we can say on click. We want to handle close. There we go. I should have just typed these on lines. That's right. That's right. Boom. There we go. Let's put this one here. Let's put this one here. All right. Here it is, you guys. It's going to work. Boom, there we go, there we go. That is clean. Let's go up to the power. Boom, there we go. Man, this is nice. So, hey, some of these dependencies in React can really make or break your application. It can really give you a lot of that fine detail at the end just to make it look really nice and look really polished here. So there we go. Man, I had a lot of fun building this with you guys. I hope you had fun following me along here. If you made some changes to it, if you add anything extra on your own, gave it your own spin, post a link to your GitHub so I can check it out. I want to see all of them, you guys. And again, if you have any questions, if you run into any bugs, put it down in the description below, and I will try my best to work on it or give you your best answer. If you want me to look at your code, that's fine too. I'm willing to do that for you. Make sure you like the video, you guys. If you subscribe to my channel, you're going to be seeing some more React content just like this. Right now, I'm just designing a bunch of front-end sites in React. I am going to be crossing over some React Native and also some MongoDB, doing a little bit of full stack stuff. I know I did say I was going to finish up my last video, the Task App video. I was going to add in some Firebase. I do plan on doing that here shortly. We're just almost done with that. But hope you liked it, guys. Give it a video, give it a like, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for following along. I'll see you on the next one.